Once again, the state of Qatar has stressed on its commitment to the unconditional and equivalent dialogue, which is based on the international law that doesn't affect its sovereignty, while the siege countries insist every time on running away from facing this matter and issuing contrary statements just to prolong the crisis. His Excellency Foreign Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman Al Thani says the final communique of Bahrain's conference says that Qatar should respond to the 13 demands and 6 principles of Cairo. And this is a clear violation of the list of demands itself, which stipulates in a clause that the demands became invalid after 10 days. The Manama Conference has denied many facts and harms which were caused by the blockade, but it acknowledged on some of them shyly without apologizing or initiating a desire to review them, including the continuing of the siege procedures, which are against the international law, and people suffering and the vanishing of their rights because of them. His Excellency Foreign Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman Al Thani says there are very clear violations of the international law, adding the blockade has affected Qatari citizens. His Excellency also says the UAE Foreign Minister has acknowledged that the siege has also affected his country's citizens, expressing his thanks to the UAE Minister for realizing that effect after 2 months of the siege, which has cut family ties and prevented people from freedom of movement when the siege countries closed their airspace on Qatar Airways and Qatar's only land port. The recent diplomatic tour, which was held by His Excellency the Foreign Minister in the U.S., has contributed to deeply clarifying Qatar's position on this crisis. His Excellency's meetings with his U.S. counterpart, members of U.S. Senate and Congress, the UN Secretary General, and other UN officials reflect harmony between their and Qatar's positions on the importance of resolving the dispute through dialogue. His Excellency Foreign Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman Al Thani says that he has noticed a joint vision between Qatar and the U.S. and UN officials, noting that both sides agree the GCC is an important organization and should continue with its power as one unit, adding any difference in it will affect on regional and international security and safety. His Excellency also says that the U.S. and the UN see that there is no reason for any dispute to reach at that level of escalation, adding they call all the parties in the dispute to engage in the dialogue. The state of Qatar has repeatedly affirmed its commitment to the Kuwaiti mediation initiative to resolve the crisis. It also informs the Kuwaiti mediator about Doha's diplomatic and legal moves against the siege, due to its appreciation to the importance of Kuwait's role, while the siege countries do not do the same. Statements issued from Cairo, Jeddah, and Manama have rarely mentioned the Kuwaiti mediation efforts, without announcing obviously their adherence to that mediation as a framework for a solution. Their intransigent attitudes always reflect how they violate the spirit of the initiative and its importance. His Excellency Foreign Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman Al Thani says the siege countries did not care and mentioned the Kuwaiti mediation until recently. While the Saudi-led blockade only recognizes the Kuwaiti mediation, those countries take their decisions without notifying Kuwait. On the other hand, Qatar always communicates with Kuwait in a sign of respecting it and its emir. Qatar will spare no effort in opposing the blockade by all legal and diplomatic means because of its direct humanitarian impact on the rights of citizens and residents of Qatar. As for the political solution, it does not neglect or beg, but it works to achieve it in a way that preserves Doha's sovereignty and the independence of its decision.